It's finally time. Time to put a backup camera on my 2007 Jeep Wrangler. There's two ways to do this. On my wife's Jeep Wrangler, hers is a 2016. I screwed it to the bottom of the bumper, and it works fine. Her radio stereo that I installed did not come with any particular type of mount, just the generic little mount that you see there. But the other way to mount it, very common, is to mount it here inside of this tire. And the new ones have been mounting it inside of the tire. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because 7 months ago, I installed that 13-inch A-Shure stereo that I love. Jeep purists don't love it, but I do. And when you turn it on, it comes to, even this 2007, sends a signal to the stereo, and it tells it to start backing up. And you get a blank screen until you've gone back into drive. But this is the kit. Now this kit looks like other kits you might see. It's got this ring here that mounts behind the tire. It's got these little hardware and the locking washers to hold it up there. Came with some zip ties, directions, extra. And you can mount this here and adjust where the camera goes. The camera itself got this little 4-pin connector. I think this is 12 volts, not 5 volts like my RV. Don't get me started on that one. Pretty nice camera. It's a little better than the one that the other generic ones that I've seen. It comes with the bracket meant for this. It's got this little tag coming out of it, so I'll worry about this once it's installed. You cut this to switch it from mirroring to non-mirroring. I don't know which is which, but the directions are more generic, so it doesn't necessarily say, but once in the car, you can just cut it, and then it'll swap, it'll flip. And then the wiring harness, which is quite long. I think these are 10 feet long, but I'm not positive. And what's cool, it comes with this little switch here, and it's got like 12 different modes. The modes are, we might talk about them later, but they're pretty generic for the modes. 720p, 1080p, NTSC, so just a bunch of random, mostly video settings. There's also two ways to run the wiring. So on that one, I actually zip tied the wiring underneath, came up through the front of the vehicle behind the firewall. But a lot of these Jeeps here, this wiring goes into a grommet. I'll show you that in a minute. Behind this, through this loom, and then routes up front. So that's what we're going to do. And then there are two different ways to power this. Some only like the camera to be on when it's in reverse. So what you have to do for that is take one of these taillight housings out and then actually run this wire to the reverse lights. So when the reverse lights come on and the command tells the reverse light to come on, it'll turn the camera on and you'll see it. So it does have these two wires, so one for ground, one for power for the camera. But then there's another power for the camera. But this one, if you don't use this one to your reverse light, this one can be powered all the time from the stereo. And that's what I'm going to do, because I want to see if you can use it, turn it on at random times, and you don't have to just be in reverse. But I'll make the decision after I connect it. I'm going to leave this all disconnected and take a look. But let's get started. First thing I do is take the wheel off. So we've got one wire coming in this grommet, and we've got another grommet over here. And I think I'll use that one. All right, I didn't show it, but all I did was take a 17mm socket and just use that to pound these on. The best way to do that I found. All right, let's start taking some stuff apart in here. So this one, the push pins are in the bottom. So you pull the bottom and these tabs can break off. So look, I was lucky as I pulled it off, but when you reinstall, it'll go in top first and then you put the bottom in. So remember that. Here's our wiring. Now the grommet is down here. So yeah, I think I've got a hanger. Let's take the grommet out first. All right, I'm going to put a little hole in the grommet, put this wire through first. or we're not going to mount this yet because there are multiple adjustments, slides, and then 3 holes. So I'm just going to get the wiring straight, push the grommet back in, and we're all set. You can see where this wire comes in at and how it goes that way. Pretty simple here. This carpet just pulls out, and I'm going to zip tie this once I'm done. This carpet pulls up. Here there's 2 of these plastic push pins, just enough so that you can get this piece of trim loose. Then it's loose enough you can just tuck the wire up under there with your fingers. Same over here, 2 more. Again, tucked it under, and then this one has 2 more. Well, this shares one here, and then it pulls up, kind of up, out and up. And then these little tabs right here, so you squeeze it in, and then it completely falls out. So I've got the wire here, and then the way I installed this is this metal mounting bracket. I use these metal brackets, so these, for the standard stereo, these are like spacers, and I cut these spacers down, and then put these brackets in, and then there's bolt holes on the sides, and then the little screws that came with this other kit that I had bought just go right into the side. The Assure people have this really awesome mounting kit that goes here, and then it has a backing that screws on the back here and pops in. It's awesome, but it's out a little farther than I prefer, so I just went with this setup here. And then now, got it. All right, now we've got pretty simple video out and CVBS in 1. Aux in, mic, aux out, aux out, aux out, subwoofer. So CVBS 1 must be this one. So let me see if that matches one of the settings on the direction. It's right in the directions. Number 1, CVBS and TSC, system rear view with guideline. I'm thinking that's it. So we're going to go with that one and not switch to one of these other ones. And then it did come with this connector, but I don't think that connector applies to my setup. No, that connector does not apply to my setup, so I think we're good. Let me go set the camera up, and then we'll test this. The camera is loosely installed where I want it, but I don't have power yet, so let me do that first. Well, I had to open up below the steering column here and go into this pink with brown wire is an accessory wire, so I had no accessory power up here. Just the yellow wire is constant, so I think ground is what makes it actually turn on. So I've got that wire here now. I'm going to wire it in here in 1 second, button this back up, and then we'll test out the camera. All right, well, we're powered up here. Apps, aux. There we go. Well, that's cool. Let's start and put it in reverse. It's acting like a... Where's my backup camera? This is aux in, CVSB in. What are we doing here? What's the deal? What's wrong? So I had to install this sidebar and move it over because like none of those are lined up right. So yeah, I did that. And then I buttoned everything up in here. No big deal. Just like I did coming apart. So we'll see how that goes. All right, well, it's a new day and I just got it to work. As you can see, I took the radio back out and I found out that I'm the problem. It's me. I have a tendency when I install these radios, if there's extra wiring, I hate, like some of these harnesses have all these connectors, and obviously if I use one, I need the whole connector, the whole harness. But if I'm not using a harness, then I leave it out. So I've got a couple of these because I haven't used them. So there's a empty plug there for the backup camera, and this one says camera on it. There's also another wire for the reverse light if you want to use the brake. So yeah, I just had yesterday after I finished this, I went in the box where I have all my extra stuff, and I found two of these, and I said that's a problem. So it took me 5 minutes to figure out what my problem was. It works now, but unless I find some type of a splitter that has 2 male and 1 female, I can't use the auxiliary in. It's only going to work with reverse. If I can't use auxiliary without it being in reverse, then why is it powering the camera all the time? If it's only getting power when it's reversed, probably not going to be as, if I'm driving down the road all the time, that camera is just going to be getting power and it could go bad, right? Then I'm going to hook it to the reverse lights. So, and then I also need to, since this has the camera has built-in backup, the lines. So I'm going to, I think, remove those. So we'll show you that in a second. I went ahead and used some undesirable connectors back there. Rewired the ground because I didn't like how my wire felt like it could pull out of the ground. And then found what AI has told me is the reverse light wire. So see if it is. What did you do that for? I don't want that. There we go. Not it. Well, in case you're wondering, white with gray. AI will say it's white with violet, purple. It is white with gray. So white with gray is the reverse wire. But now, device. General. All right, off. So let's see if that. There we go. Now it's on the left and not the right. I'm going to go in the back and hit the buttons and get rid of these. Hit the button on the wire, get rid of these over here. I just scrolled through the settings and I went to 1080p, so it's really clear. That actually makes it look much better. So you turned off the guidelines. If you touch it, you can radar setting. I guess that. I don't think I have a radar on this thing. Line setting. You can adjust the height. And the width if you'd like. There it is. It's a little tricky getting it centered in there if you don't have wide with these. Yeah, depending on your rims, you're going to have the same issues as I did. Let's go see how it looks. Just a little bit. Maybe I can tilt it down a touch. Yeah, there we go. You can still see the edges of the rim, but tilt it down just slightly. Looks better. That wasn't that hard. Quick recap back here. I did switch over. See, I had this ground drilled out, but I used these wires right here. So there's a black wire ground, and then white with the gray stripe is your power wire for the reverse lights. So it is actually a little more simple than drilling a hole like I did, or drilling a self-tapping screw in there. Those are the wires. What is it, a double male to female RCA splitter, and you could probably run the auxiliary, so you could switch it over to auxiliary and watch the camera as you're driving down the road. But I think it'll last longer if it's only turning on when you're in reverse. But that's a great place to put it. Like, it's the one on my wife's Jeep over there. You know, she doesn't have a hitch, and this one does have a hitch, so that would be an issue. But if you remember to plug in the reverse wire on your radio, you wouldn't be bumbling like I was. You could have finished it last night, but otherwise, I'm really happy with this. I'll probably get one more clip and put it in here of what it looks like at night, because these lights and the lights are not very bright, and that's the problem. Like, when I'm backing into this driveway or anywhere, you can't see anything. You actually hit the brakes, the brake lights give you more light. So I'm going to put a clip in of the camera at night to see what it looks like at night, how bright it seems, how good it is without lights. So that'll be a good test of it. It's a great kit for this stereo. I don't know what this white wire was for, why it's like this, because this one fits in the regular old harness. So I guess we get power from the regular Jeep harness, but then if you unplug the Jeep radio harness, it would not work. So I don't know if there's a different adapter or something that one's for, like a double adapter for a different radio. But this was a plug-and-play radio, so the Assure company, this stereo is the best one. If I didn't already mention it, I'll mention it again. As far as how fast it is, how the touch screen, it's like an Android 15, I think, and it's super fast. So I really like this stereo in my Jeep. It's a little more expensive than the one I had before, but it's so much faster, so much better. It connects to my phone, so much more stable. So that's great. But thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. And if there's any updates on this camera, I'll let you know. But it's a great little camera. So catch you on the next one.